Hello and welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey. On this episode, I speak to BC Construction Industry Rehabilitation Plan Executive Director Vicky Waldron about the Opioid-Free Pain Clinic pilot program, an innovative therapeutic approach to pain management after workplace injury, which involves no drug prescriptions. Waldron spoke to the importance of avoiding opioid use to mask pain, and the clinic instead uses an innovative technique called myoActivation trigger point therapy, which reduces pain without pharmacological intervention. She said those who go through the therapy recover much more quickly while avoiding opioid use, and that the construction industry has collaborated extensively with the clinic, resulting in workers getting back to work more quickly and at significantly lower cost than surgery and other treatments. Waldron had much more to say about the process, the industry, and about pain management, which you can hear right now in our interview. Enjoy. I guess I would start with what is the program all about and how did it come about in the first place?
The Opioid-Free Pain Clinic is something that came about directly as a result of conversations I was having with industry. So many years ago, I would talk to industry around harm reduction and the need for dealing with pain and perhaps ORTs and OATs, opioid replacement therapies, where people have got addicted to opioids but they need pain relief. And what the industry and what people would say to me in the industry is, we understand this, we get it, but we can't have opioids on the job site. It's just not something that we can do. And so I was pretty much tasked unofficially again and again to go away and find something that actually fit. And I always say all the time, I'm honestly, Warren, I'm a big believer of not banging my head against a wall. I always laugh and say, I get a bruise, I don't like that. So it's really about finding the right solutions for the people that you're trying to help. And so I went away and I spent quite a bit of time just doing research and trying to periodically I'd go in and try and find something and nothing was coming up. And then eventually I came across myoActivation and this fantastic work that Dr. Greg Siren is doing and nurse practitioner Barb Eddy. And so long story short, the program itself provides pain services without the use of any prescribing of any sort at all. So not only do we not use opioids, we're not prescribing anything. And it uses a dry needling technique and through that, it's working on the body's fascia, and we're seeing some really good results.
Now, I know I've talked to, this is a while back, but I remember talking to somebody about the opioid crisis, and they were saying pain is kind of part of the whole thing. Like opioid has become this sort of on-off switch, which was never really intended to be, or that's not how you could heal, essentially. Like that's just turning it off and on, and that obviously have side effects. So how do you sort of mitigate pain without without that chemical process?
You're absolutely right. When looking at this, what was originally called the opioid crisis and now the toxic drug crisis, you can't, when you're looking at solutions, you cannot look at that without looking at pain as well. So we are an industry that has higher rates of pain than other industries, but that's to be expected. It's an industry that where people it's a very physically demanding industry, so people are there is wear and tear on people's bodies. So and of course you're absolutely right in saying that opioids, they don't actually heal anything, they're just there to mask pain and to turn off the pain receptors, or rather to cover pain, and so you're not actually dealing with the issue. And so what you have is when you have that coupled with an industry where there are a lot of market pressures on the industry, right? There's not enough, we don't have enough labour to meet the demand at the moment. So there's that going on. There's very tight margins. And so the pressure to get people back to work is very high, and masking pain and using opioids is a very quick way to get people back to work. For individuals making these choices, it's a quick way to get back to work as well. There's a lot of loss of pay if individuals aren't getting getting back to work quickly. Traditionally, the choices they have are, depending on the type of pain, if it's and I should say I'm not a nurse practitioner or a nurse or a physician, but if there is, tissue damage or muscular aches, it's rehab and physiotherapy, which can be, if ever you've had any kind of injury, it's months and months and months of rehab. And so individuals were faced with either months and months and months of rehab and being off work, or you take pills and within 8 hours you can be back at work, right? And so that's when you look at it that way, it's an easy decision to choose opioids. And so what we really wanted to do was provide an alternative that wasn't as time intensive, that was quicker, and it is something that we do need to look at, because it's a real issue. It's no good us kind of trying to convince people to take the months, because that's the right way to do it. If it doesn't work for the population you're working with, then it doesn't work. It's really that simple. We have to find solutions that do. And so this is where I really like this, and we're finding within our clinic that most people are being seen between 1 and 4 sessions, and that's it. And so within 1 and 4 sessions, after they've had the needling, we are seeing that a lot of people are able to get back to work, and they're seeing a lot of they're seeing significant reduction in pain.
Now, you recently sent out a press release which showed some of the success you've had, but also it sounds like industry was on board, like despite how much of what's less, it's like you said, it's either one or the other. This is in between. It seemed like that they realize there's a problem and they want to address it too.
For sure. As I said, this came directly from industry. This is conversations I've had for years with industry. So this really does. It ticks all the boxes for industry. There's no opioids involved. We're able to treat workers effectively, and we're able to get them back to work quicker, right? I mean, what's not to love about that, right? We're getting people back quicker. The other thing that's really interesting, that I find really interesting, is that this is a significantly lower cost intervention compared to when we are looking at surgeries for pain that just has been going on for a while. Because if people are using opioids, like I said, they're not actually dealing with the injury that they have, or the addressing the core issue. And so potentially you're exacerbating that as you're continuing to go back to work. So you end up with people that need a lot of lower back pain surgeries, and those, as we know, are extremely expensive. You end up on wait lists, and we almost clog up the healthcare system when there is an alternative, and that's what we're piloting, and that's what we're finding, that there is this, for me, a way more cost-effective solution.
And you have had some success. So maybe you could list off some of the success. I think it started in May, and from there you had some serious progress.
Yeah. So as I said, we have, it's a small pilot, but the success has been good. We've had everybody that's come in through the clinic, 100% of the folk that have come through have reported a reduction in pain. I've got a wonderful story of a gentleman that came in. He came in using a cane, and he'd been struggling with pain for 14 years. 14 years. He actually had more than 4 sessions. Like I said, on average, people have between 1 and 4 sessions, roughly. This gentleman, I believe, had, I think it was between 8 and 10, somewhere around that margin. The last time I saw him come in, he was absolutely in tears, and he came in without a cane. He actually came in and he wasn't using a cane, and he's just thrilled with the results. It still had some of the core issues. I mean, if we're talking about someone coming in with a cane, there's significant issues going on, but he's able to now live without as much pain, or the level of pain he was experiencing before, which, I mean, it's just amazing. And we chat to another gentleman that comes in. He was coming in actually direct from the job site. He'd come in and in all of his PPE and everything, and all of his gear. And he was saying the same thing. For a decade, he'd struggled with neck and shoulder pain, really bad pain, and it was after an injury that he'd had, a workplace injury. And again, came in, I think he actually had somewhere between 3 and 4 sessions. Same thing. He said he'd never, he'd practically given up being able to kind of function without pain, and he had a significant reduction in pain and was able to get back and work without that, which is so important.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned this is a pilot. What's the future going to hold for the clinic and other programs like this that if
Yeah.
there's are in the works?
Well, we would love to expand this. We'd like to take some of the learnings we've had, incorporate those and move it forward. And certainly we're eternally grateful to the ministry and Minister Whiteside for really seeing value in this and seeing the potential for this. And certainly we'll continue to have conversations with the ministry. And our hope is that we can expand this program, and not only just for this small pilot that we've done, but keep being innovative in our approach and see if we can deliver this not just here but across the province as well to other construction sites. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could actually have this go out to construction sites? That'd just be wonderful, wouldn't it?
And I guess finally, I'd ask if people are interested in this, and I would assume people, listen to this podcast and who will read our news sources. They're part of the industry. They work in the industry. They're going to want to deal with this problem. Where should they go to find out more about enrolling in this clinic, or just finding out general information?
Yeah, so if you want to enrol, you just give us a call. The number is 604-521-8611. Just give us a call and we can get you enrolled. You can go to our website, constructionrehabplan.com, to learn more about it. It's pretty low barrier. There's no real kind of barriers to accessing this. All construction workers are welcome to attend. You don't have to be part of our membership. You don't have to be unionized to come and attend the clinic.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Construction Record Podcast. You can hear us on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify, as well as on the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks again.